Today, we're going to cover how to manage your budget in Sitefolio, how to bid a project through Sitefolio, and then lastly, how to manage your contracts for your general contractor, your architect, and your vendors in Sitefolio. So everything starts with the budget, and I'm going to go to my project I'm using for the training today, which is Dania Beach. And everything that we're training on today lives under this $sign on the project navigation. Here we have budgeting, contracts, and bidding. There's a couple different ways that you can create your budget in Sitefolio. We're going to cover all three today. First is the manual entryway. We also have something called a budget uploader. It's pretty cool. It allows you to enter your budget into an Excel document and then send it to Sitefolio where it uploads to the budget area. And then you can copy from other projects. And what some of my clients do is they'll create a budget template that lives on maybe a template project, and they'll copy that budget over at the beginning of each of their projects and then just make the necessary adjustments from there. So, but the first way is the manual entryway. And if you look at the template here, you'll see that this might look familiar to you. It starts with your general conditions, existing conditions, and it goes down. So the first thing you're going to want to do is select Edit Values. And then that opens up the page in the Edit view. And then just click into a cell, turn your dollar amount, and tab out. And notice how the total up top adjusts every time I enter a dollar value. And then when you're done, you can add a note here and then click Save. And then note that we have all the different stages of a budget here. So you have your under development, which you can have as many versions of an under development budget as you need. And then at some point, the budget will be approved and you'll have one approved version. You can't have more than one approved budget. And then you'll have your reconcile budget, which is at the end of the project, considered your final budget. And then we have a published budget. Actually, the reconcile is comprised of your actual costs, and I'll show you how to do that. And then the published budget is your final budget. All right, so that's one way to create your budget. The other way is to utilize the version uploader here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to generate this report. It's actually an Excel document using XML. What budget uploader looks like, and you're only to enter dollar amounts in the blue shaded fields. So what some of my clients will do is they'll download this for a couple of their projects. They'll get on an airplane, maybe work up their budgets, and then when they get internet connection, they'll come up here and then select your stage, and you can add a comment, and then send to Sitefolio. And when I do that, it's going to open up an email with my budget in XML, and then I'll click send. And then you should get an email notification letting you know that your budget has been uploaded, which I'll let you know. So that's the second way to do it.
What was the name of it again?
It's called the Excel version uploader, right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then the last way is to copy from other projects. All right, so let's learn how to copy from other projects. And what you're going to do there is you're going to select your source projects that you're copying from. So you want to come here to this area here and select View Sources. And then right now we just have our Dania Beach budget, but I want to select my source project, so I'm going to click on Select Sources. And it's going to bring up this search area. If you know like the state that your budgets are in, you can select that. I'm just going to select, I'm not going to put any data in here. I just want to see what's out there. Click on Search. And it's going to bring back all the budgets in the system for the different projects. And let's say I want to bring this one in, and this one, and this one. No, I don't want that one. So I'm going to click Add to Selected. And then Selected Projects, Save and Compare. So there's my 3 budgets. And now what I can do is select Edit Values and then choose which one I want to copy over. And I want to copy this one, so I'm going to select Copy. And then put a note. And then Save New. So there's my version 4, and it's ready for approval. So quickly, to approve a budget, and you guys will need to talk about who approves, when it gets approved, that sort of thing. All you need to do is select Edit Values, and then change the status from Under Development to Approved. And then Save New. And there's our approved budget. I'm going to actually come back to being a published budget and budget and actuals after we have some contracts entered. So if it's okay, I'd like to skip to bidding.
Yeah.
All right, so bidding is under dollar bidding. And I have one bid package in here just because I wanted to show how to answer an RFC. But to start the bid package, you just want to select Create. And this is what it looks like. You just want to name your bid package. And right now, if you don't want RFCs processed against your bid package, you can uncheck that box, but it's automatically checked. And then also, if you're going to have any addendas, you want to leave that box checked. But if there's no addendas, go ahead and uncheck it. So the first thing you're going to do is add your bidders. So you're going to add the business first. So I'm going to select the plus sign, and then international contractors. Then I'm going to add the member. It's going to submit the bid. So business, then the member entering the bid. Now your bid package manager is going to be somebody with internal within Cooper's Hawk. So it's going to be probably Harry.
It'll be Rob.
Rob. Okay, Rob. Okay. Now a scope manager is typically the architect. If you want to use a scope manager, you can. But if you select a scope manager, they can manage the bid package, but they can't see the numbers. So they can do things like answer RFCs, upload the bid drawings, that sort of thing. But they can't like select the bid and then analyze the bid, anything to do with the dollar sign. They can't do that. You have 2 events that you need to enter a date for. The intent to respond is optional. The bid due date has a red ribbon because it's required. So if you want to invite your bidders to record an intent to respond, go ahead and enter the date there and the time. And this is in Pacific Standard Time. We can't change that. And then the bid due.
So loud.
Then if you have alternates, go ahead and enter those here. And you can have as many as you want. I just tab to go to the next one. And then if you want to have your bid drawings available here, you can upload them by browsing for your documents. Some of our clients post their bid drawings in a folder over here and just like add the folder URL right here. They will say like bid documents can, you know, download it here. And they'll enter the URL for the file, for the folder, I'm sorry. Or you can upload them here.
Got it.
So then you'll want to save your bid package. And then the last thing, when you're ready to open it, you're going to select Open Bid Package. And as soon as we do that, these two contractors are going to get an email notification that they've been invited to bid. So on the other bid package, I had some RFCs that were created by the bidders. So I wanted to show you how you would answer those. So the RFCs, when they come in, there's going to be a notification that looks like this. RFC submitted. And I was wrong yesterday, Jen. When the RFC first gets submitted, it doesn't go to all the bidders, just the answer goes to all the bidders.
That makes sense to me, yeah.
Right. So this one was recorded by Bob from Kycon, and this is a notification that went out. And then when it got answered, the answer went out to all the bidders and the scope manager. Okay, so to answer an RFC, you just want to click on the RFC number. And then here's our RFC. He says, please clarify the fixtures necessary for this package. So you want to come in and select Edit. And then you can add any attachments that you need to. And then when you're ready, you want to save response final. And that's going to send that notification out to all the bidders anonymously that an RFC has been answered. And then you can just select this link here to go back to the bid package. Okay. So, you notice how we have a bid budget? You have a bid budget here. Well, instead of SuperTalk having to enter it line by line, you can just click the edit button. And then if you want to go to the top, you can say, I want to copy my approved budget down here. And it's only going to copy the general construction line items. So there's my bid budget. So I'm Mr. Kycon, and I'm ready to submit my bid. So the first thing it's going to ask me to do is enter my lump sum bid. So I'll do that here. And then it's going to ask me how many days. And then my alternate. Okay, now that I've entered my lump sum, then I have to allocate that over here. Then he starts doing this. So they have to break it out by line item for you. And notice how this allocation changes when I do that. Okay, I'm just going to enter some numbers quickly so I can show you how to submit it.
Yeah. Enter one like that's super, super high so they can see what happens on the.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm at 0. Let me do my alternates.
Can you have more than 2 alternates?
Yes, you can have up to 10, I believe. And then they can add a note here for you. All right, but once that says 0 all across, then this submit button will activate and they can select submit. Excuse me. And as soon as they submit the bid, you'll get a notification where you can then go in as the owner and we're going to pretend like all the bidders have submitted numbers. And you can analyze the bid package. You can see here that these are all over the bid budget, so they're red. But if they were the same, it would be green. And if it was left blank, it would be black. But we also have this report at the bottom of the page called the Bid Detail Analysis that allows you to export that screen into Excel. And it provides the conditional formatting for the variance on the document itself. All right, so once you're ready to select the bid, you just want to come over here. Oh, first you have to close the bid package. That's a key.
Where do the alternates show up real quick?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just closed it.
Sorry, I wasn't fast enough.
That's okay. The alternates are right here on the alternate section.
And then is there a way to select? Is there a way to select an alternate?
Yeah, right here.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But only the bid package manager can do that.
Only the what?
Only the bid package manager can do that.
Cool. And then you can select those before you hit select your bid or whatever?
Yes.
Got it.
All right, now if you want to select your bidder, you just click on the select bid button, and then you can choose to notify all the bidders through the system, or you can do it yourself. And as soon as the bid is selected, all of the bidders will get a notification either that they were selected or not selected, and their security will be revoked from that bid package. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is contracts. And if you notice, it's under the $sign, contracts. And there's 3 contract types in Sitefolio. You have your general contractor contracts. Your services contracts are things like your landlord or your realtor or your architect. And then your FF&E contracts. So I'm going to create a GC contract. And the way that Jen was thinking it would work is Cooper's Hawk would create the contract in the system. So I'm going to select create. Okay, so you're going to want to enter in your dates and the start and finish of the work using the calendar icon. And then the business is going to be KaiCon. Notice that the retainage is automatically set to 10%. So once I select save, I can now come over here to the cost sheet. And in the green shaded fields, I can enter my dollar amounts if I want to, or I can come over here and copy down my approved budget, or you can do the bid, whatever you want to do. And that's going to populate the line items for you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do this first one.
I know, right? Centerville, I think.
Yeah.
And the next thing you might want to do is just select proposed and then save. And if you want to send this over to the contractor just to have them upload anything, just go ahead and say, please upload contract backup, and check their box here and select send. Once you're ready to approve your contract, just select propose to approved, and then your name, and then save. Now send a notification back to the contractor that their contract is approved. Once a contract is approved, then the GC can start processing change orders and pay applications against it. Not until it's approved. Until then, these create buttons will be suppressed. And there's also a section for them to create RFIs for this scope of work.
First.
Speaking of change orders, let's process one.
Okay.
So the GC will log in. This is one part that you won't do for them. They'll be trained to log into the system, find their contract, and select create. Change order number, and then reason. Let's just say winter conditions. And if they want to extend the contract, they can enter that here. If not, then they'll select the submitted date and then save to move on to the next step. At this point, they're going to enter in the change order dollar amount, but they'll be expected to come to the cost sheet to allocate that out. So you'll see at the top, we have a $25,000 change order. And notice how the allocation decreases every time I enter my dollar amount. Remaining allocation is 0. Then they can come here and upload any backup for the change order, add a change order description, and the last thing they're going to do is change the approval status from draft to proposed. Notice they can't approve their own change order. And that's going to send a notification to the project manager that a new change order has come in. Order is in the proposed status. And because it's not approved, it hasn't affected our contract sum to date yet. But once this change order gets approved, which is the same workflow as the contract, you want to select edit, change it from proposed to approved. If you don't like it, you can send it back as revised and resubmit, or you can select not approved. The pay application, the contractor will find their contract in Sitefolio, come to the pay application header and select create, and then enter the number and the submitted date.
So the vendors also do this
then,
themselves, not us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then they would come to the cost sheet, and then this probably looks familiar. It looks like a G702, but they're going to fill out the work completed this period column. So they'll come in, apply for the payment on line items. If they try to overbill on a line item, it's going to turn it red, and the system won't allow you to submit it. It won't allow you to change the status from draft to proposed until all of those are corrected. And that goes for if there's a 0 line item and they try to add money to it, they cannot do that. They can only bill for what's in the contract. So when they're done filling out the work completed this period, they'll come here, upload their attachments, that could be their lien releases. That's what some of my clients do.
Yep.
And then the last thing is change the status from draft to proposed. And then you'll get a notification that a new pay app has been submitted. Now there are instructions for how to process the last pay app, because for the last pay app, you typically release your retainage, correct?
Correct.
So what the contractor will do for the last pay app, and I'm going to approve this one really quick because I can't process another pay application while one is proposed. The system will only allow one to be processed at a time. Okay. So to close out the contract, the only thing necessary to do is to zero out the retainage here. And that essentially releases the retainage to be billed. All right, so let me go back to the budget section because I wanted to show you how to do a reconcile budget.
Yeah, I definitely want to show them to like the work in progress report stuff, the financial reporting.
Yeah. So what you're going to want to do at the end of your project, and pretend like there's more contracts here because in reality there will be. So you'll just want to select copy to budget, and then you're going to check the box next to each of the contracts that you want to include in your reconciled budget. So I'm going to pretend like I have more contracts here to check. And then you want to come up here and you want to select reconcile, and then copy. So there's my reconcile budget right there. And then we also have this budget to actuals view that when I click on that, and if I select show contracts, it's going to show all the contracts and what's been billed so far. And again, you can export this to Excel if you want.